けば、クルーに配信再開ということですね。まあ、ハンコンになれるために、あえて配信枠をガンガン取ろうという、あれです。
Let's complete this playlist. Season is all about luxury cars. If you've played the Ferrari playlist, you know what I mean. But it doesn't end there. The festival has invited numerous guests and brands to take part over the years. And now, the most prestigious brands are opening their doors to us. Our luxury car authority, the Archivist, has been invited by the greatest European luxury car manufacturers to discuss our common passion for beautiful vehicles and to show us the places where these jewels are formed. A grand tour of Europe that you'll be getting a taste of in this new playlist experience. Onto the container. You'll discover everything this voyage was about.
今日はプレイリストを4つぐらいできたらいいな。ボートがこんなところに。ええな、やっぱハイパーか。 ビジュアリーとメイクです。
As the Motorfest archivist, I had the privilege to be invited by prestigious European car manufacturers for a special visit. This was the beginning of my European tour, and the starting point for your new car culture experience. My journey would let me spend time among the finest machines the old continent has produced. French elegance, German peak engineering.
Welcome to the Porsche Museum. First and foremost, Porsche is something you have to drive. You have to sit in, you have to feel. If you sit in the car, then you directly recognize this is a Porsche.
British craftsmanship.
Experience the bike that we already love. Character, performance, detail, quality, style.
I'll relate my journey for you and for my archives. These are my luxury chronicles.
The Voyage of our Archivist. 13 events, lots of side activities and prize money to win. The Motorfest has spared no expenses on this luxury experience.
多いね。13のイベント。
To the next objective. The tour starts now. Our archivist has documented the whole thing, so we can share with you here in Hawaii his luxury chronicles. Each car you'll be driving in this playlist is related to our archivist journey. Get to the event tag and discover what our luxury car authority has in store for you.
喧嘩 あった。最初はフランスジェンティオートモービル。
My trip back to Europe would lead me first to France,
最初に向かったのはフラン
with a
ス。
schedule full of promise. I couldn't wait to meet the people from Bugatti, embodiment of French car luxury, and spend time with some of the most brilliant machines in the country.
ブガッティ。
But my very first meeting was with an equally interesting manufacturer
なんだこれ、
and a
アストンマーテ
rather
ィン。
peculiar car. Genti Automobile and their
Genti
first
Automobile.
creation, the Accolone.
キロン。
My European journey was starting far from the buzzing cities, in the small village of Saint-Yor, in central France. When you get these notes, driver, you'll be driving the roads of Maui in the very cars I'm writing about, to get a proper French luxury feel without leaving Hawaii or the festival. The Accolone and Genti Automobile was such an interesting starting point for my tour. A newcomer to the French luxury car market, and their very first machine. This was very exciting. I got to learn everything I needed to know about this car. A car born from the passion of a creator who dreamed of building his own luxury hypercar with 4-figure horsepower and an unparalleled power-to-weight ratio from scratch. By the time you, driver, get my notes, the result should be in your hands.
やばい、字幕読んどる暇全然ない。
Excellence, rarity, and soul. The Accolone by Genty Automobile.
いやでもエンジンいいな。重低音の V 型サウンドというか。
How was this luxury ride for an introduction? For the next event of this playlist, we're going deeper into the French luxury car market. Get ready to hear everything about our archivist's second stop.
フランスシトロエン シトロエン GT。
Despite its rare and premium nature, luxury cars can take many forms and come from many places. Of course, they often come from well-established luxury manufacturers, and I was about to see a lot of these on my journey. But my visit at Genty has shown us that a luxury car can bloom from the vision and passion of a single person. And today, my second stop in France has shown that luxury cars can also come from manufacturers that usually keep their distance from the luxury world. This stop was about a French
車が離陸
everyday
する。
car manufacturer, Citroën, and their famous Citroën GT. The GT is a car which, according to its main engineer in 2008, was meant to be the supercar of 2025, the same year as this European trip. Talk about apropos. This car was originally made for a video game, but it had such an impact that they decided to make it a reality. At the time, the possibility of having the GT be mass-produced was real. But in the end, the incredible vehicle would remain a concept car for the world to admire and a very privileged few to drive.
"ちょっと待って、むずいぞ。
Despite its rare and premium nature, luxury cars can take many forms and come from many places.
とにかく滑らないように運転しなきゃいけないから。
Of course, they often come from well-established luxury manufacturers, and I was about to see a lot of these on my journey. But my visit at Genti has shown us that a luxury car can bloom from the vision and passion of a single person. And today, my second stop in France has shown that luxury cars can also come from manufacturers that usually keep their distance from the luxury world. This stop was about a French everyday car manufacturer, Citroën, and their famous Citroën GT. The GT is a car which, according to its main engineer in 2008, was meant to be the supercar of 2025, the same year as this European trip. Talk about apropos. This car was originally made for a video game, but it had such an impact that they decided to make it a reality. At the time, the possibility of having the GT be mass-produced was real. But in the end, the incredible vehicle would remain a concept car for the world to admire and a very privileged few to drive.
Motor. さすがに400キロ出るのはさすがハイパーカーって感じだな。
With the Alone and this Citroen GT, my tour was off to a great start. And it was only the beginning.
Things are getting serious. You're now about to focus on the most luxurious of French luxury car brands. No need to think twice. You've already guessed it.
フランス最
Our
高の
next event,
やっぱブガッティだよ
now and
ね。
then.
そうだよね、知ってた。ブガッティパート1。まさかのクラシックカーっていう、あれか、ブガッティの歴史を。
At last, it was finally time for me to make a stop in Mulsanne.
H パターンだな、この
luxury car
シフトの
brand
もたつき
par
は。
excellence, Bugatti. There is absolutely no way I could have skipped this more than 110-year-old institution.
これはね、この車は
My
ね、
enthusiasm was
GTA で
vindicated
も
as I got to
収録
spend
され
some
てる
time with the
車だから
legendary machine
よ
that
く知
is
っ
the
てるよ。
1936 Type 57 SC Atlantic, designed by Jean Bugatti, one of the most beautiful Bugattis ever made. A car
GTA だ
that
と
embodies
Z タイ
Bugatti's
プっていう名前
pioneering
で
spirit and passion for perfection.
収録されてる車やね、これは。
What a pleasure it was to take this venerable machine through the picturesque countryside roads of France. Four units of this car were made at the time. including a single all-black version that John Bugatti kept for himself. Unfortunately, its whereabouts are a long-standing mystery, as that particular vehicle disappeared during World War II. Or did she?
Oil オイルベース長すぎて全然曲がんねえ。まあレースっていうよりかは完全に鑑賞用の車だもんな、こんな。
To be honest, this special moment with Bugatti was one of the highlights of my European tour, especially when you know which car they're going to bring next.
急に新しい
La
ブガッティになっ
voiture noire, a direct tribute to that all-black Type 57 SC I just mentioned. One of the most beautiful and most expensive cars in the world. Exclusivity, artistry, performance, and luxury. A car that is undoubtedly a worthy successor to Jean Bugatti's
た。すぐ行
personal
けばチェックポイントじゃ
masterpiece.
ん。
I'm pretty sure the man would have loved to see this. Anyway, for me, this was the perfect end to a perfect day. To you festival goers, I hope you'll enjoy driving these as much as I did admiring them in their native land.
それがブガッティや。
The Luxury Chronicles continue. We're staying with Bugatti for one last French spin with a luxurious yet very intimidating car.
あるじゃん。 フランス、ブガッティパート2。理論。
Day 4 of my glorious French sojourn. I was staying at Bugatti's for another day, and as the icing on the cake, Bugatti served me one last exclusive piece of art on a plate. The Bugatti Vision GT. Another car originally designed for the video game industry that made it to the real world, for my pleasure and yours. If you're currently driving this car, and I believe you are, be cautious. This car may be a jewel. Once awakened, she becomes a beast.
追いつけるか微妙だな。あ、ミスった。届いてくれ。危ねえ。
My time with Bugatti and the French section of my tour were coming to an end. My next destination, Germany.
ギリ届いた。
This was a dive into French car haute couture. You're now entering the second part of this luxury vehicle experience, still narrated by our archivist. So next stop, Germany. A very special German car has been prepared for you.
ドイツってことはポルシェかな。ドイツで高級車って考えたらポルシェが真っ先に思い浮かぶけど。反応があるからつい行っちゃう。あった。やっぱポルシェか。予想通りですね。918の彼らとか、あとは918、違う。
After a marvelous French
918
introduction,
スパイダーとか
I
その
was now
辺か。
flying to Germany to pursue my work on
Ah,
the
Little
European
Brooklyn
luxury
Crew.
brands. I was expecting great things from the upcoming meetings.
AMG
This leg of the journey
Audi.
was a promising one, as I was about to meet my esteemed counterpart at
Porsche.
Porsche.
My name is Frank Jung, and I'm responsible here at the Porsche AG for the corporate archive and the car collection. The archive is kind of the memory of the brand, the memory of Porsche. In between the 80 cars we're showing here, the car GT is one of
これ
the
が
top
GT か、やっぱり。
top sports car of its time, a high performance machine. And it's mainly made by hand.
My luxury chronicles were really shaping up, with one incredible encounter after another. And now, I was about to see Porsche as never before, with a special focus on the Porsche Carrera GT.
彼ら GT。
talking about German luxury cars without talking about Porsche would be nonsense. It is one of the names that belongs in the pantheon of luxury car culture. Guided by my fellow archivist from Stuttgart, I was being honored with an insider tour of their museum, from which I was getting priceless notes and pictures for my archives and for Motorfest. Among all the jewels that surrounded us, the Carrera GT took a special place in our day. A car born from a streak of Porsche victories, made to compete with the greatest. Top sports car in the 2000s, and dare I say, one of the top sports cars of all time.
パドルシフトとニトロのあれと回転数に合わせてシフトの調整とってやってると字幕見てる余裕が全くねえ。
What a day, and what a car. I couldn't have dreamed of a better way to start my
ドイ
trip
ツ車
in
といえばっ
Germany.
て感じのチョイスだね。
To beat Porsche when it comes to German luxury cars. Well, don't worry, our archivist and the Motorfest organizers have got you covered. You'll see. Luxury Chronicles Europe, Germany. Second stop, Apollo Automobile.
アポロオートモービル。アポロはあんまり聞いたことないメーカーだよね。アポロプロジェクトエボ。
My Germany tour is officially on. After an incredible first stop in Stuttgart, I had the distinct pleasure of spending a day with Apollo Automobile and an absolute marvel of a car, the Apollo Project Evo. This car, which is still under development as I write these lines, is definitely one of the boldest and most aggressive-looking cars I've seen in my long career. The active aerodynamics, the fins, that rear spoiler, and X-Light signature, everything in this car's design screams, you're getting eaten alive. And this interior, you really have to see it to believe it. Nothing short of a superhero car. There's only one existing prototype at the moment. The one I just got the chance to
プ
discover.
ロトタイプしかないってこと？1台のみって言われ
Note
てる。
self. I really must convince Apollo to lend this car to Motorfest for our upcoming luxury cars playlist. フェラーリみたいな甲高い音だな。エンジンマジでフェラーリ製だったりしてな。 Luxury is elegance, fine materials, and high-precision craftsmanship. But it is also the freedom to embrace a hardline approach and go all the way.
パーフェクトデリバリー3000。
After Portia and Apollo, our archivist was only halfway through his European journey. In the next event, we'll hear what he had to say about his 7th stop, a day at Audi, with a focus on a luxury racing car. Get ready to step in the world of gentlemen drivers.
R8 とかか。R8、V10 プラスとか。まあいろいろ候補はあるよね。R8 LMS GT2。うわ、まさかのそっちか。レーシングカテゴリーの方だ。
My trip was getting me to dig even deeper into German car culture. The people from Audi were now expecting me in the beautiful town of Ingolstadt in Bavaria. The car that they had prepared for me, the one you, driver, should be driving when you get these notes, was a great surprise and a great addition to our luxury vehicle experience. The 2020 Audi R8 LMS
あの
GT2.
メルセデスは最高速度全然伸びないっぽいな。
A true racing car, as it was built for a very specific grand touring competition, the GT2 European Series. Yet also a true luxury car, as the GT2 event is in fact a particular championship designed for amateur pay drivers, a racing category for what we call the gentleman drivers. A category in which this Audi R8 is queen.
こいつに上まで引っ張ってってもらわなきゃな。
Audi R8 LMS GT2, a car that was first introduced at Goodwood's Festival of Speed. One might wonder why.
Welcome back. For the next event of our Luxury Chronicles playlist, the Archivist relates his stop at Mercedes, and you'll get to drive yet another extremely powerful car. Looks like luxury often goes together with mean performance in Germany.
メルセデス AMG。AMG1。
My last day in Germany led me to Mercedes for yet another thrilling ride. My ultimate appointment in this country was set with the breathtaking Mercedes AMG 1. The one and only, as Mercedes would say. Like all the German machines I had the pleasure to admire over the course of my trip, The Mercedes AMG 1 was indubitably on the powerful side. That's an understatement, as the One was built from the dream of bringing Formula One technology to the road. A dream that was meant to come true. Everything in this car screams Formula One. Powertrain, materials, interior. And I believe world champion Lewis Hamilton himself helped Mercedes in the development of this car. To the driver who'll get behind the wheel of this machine in the festival, you're probably not ready. My German trip was ending wonderfully with this Mercedes AMG 1. I was content and ready to move on to the last part of my trip.
The tour continues. After France and Germany, we'll now be focusing on British vehicles. In his notes, the archivist is telling us everything about his great first stop, a day at Triumph. That's correct. Our British luxury culture section starts with motorcycles. Here you are. You're going for a nice and chill ride. Pay attention, find your way, reach the destination.
Bike だ。バイクはパッドでやります。
After a roller coaster of a trip through France and Germany, my luxury car pilgrimage was bringing me back to my home, Great Britain. My first encounter alone was enough to justify the trip, as I was about to meet yet another fascinating individual.
My name's Stuart Wood. I'm Chief Engineer at Triumph. We're in the Triumph Factory Visitor Experience here in Hinckley. It's a great display of motorbikes. If I had to pick just one bike, it's going to have to be the Rocket 3. It's got High performance, very high capability, high specification, really stunning looks. It really is phenomenal.
A delightful meeting that would be followed by other great surprises from my homeland. My European journey was slowly coming to an end.
ベントレー
Yet I still had so much to see to complete my luxury chronicles. Starting with a keenly anticipated stop in Hinckley.
We pay a lot of attention to the detail and how well the bike works.
And a special rendezvous with the Triumph Rocket 3R.
いいね。ロケット3。
Cloudy grey skies and damp asphalt. I was back home, no doubt. And I couldn't be happier. I had a whole day with Triumph ahead of me, surrounded by passionate people to guide me through their motorcycle universe.
バイクだから最高速は伸びないけど、音が結構低めだね。ハーレー・ダビッドソンとかとはもうより
Stuart
は
Wood,
高いけど、
concept engineer, had shared with me everything you could ever want to know about Triumph.
比較的低
Their
めのエン
100
ジン
years
っ
of
て感じ。
existence, the attention to detail, the perfect combination of performance and visual design. Fascinating. And this Rocket 3. Big and powerful, with a remarkable 2.5-liter engine, but still easy to ride. An extreme motorcycle with a huge presence. A Triumph bike through and through. British craftsmanship, style, the passion of a whole biker community. This was shaping up to be another highlight of this European trip. All I could do is enjoy the moment.
どこだな。ここだな。
Raw performance has never looked as good as it does on a Triumph. I believe that's what they call character.
た動かなくなってた。
Our luxury car exhibition moves forward with another iconic British manufacturer. The car we'll be focusing on in this event is again special in many ways. Get to the event tag and you'll see Europe has still plenty in store to surprise you.
かなりめっちゃ上がってるけど、あれ何なんだろう。すげえ気になる。登れんか。そうか。クラーレンですか、次は。マクラーレン、エルバー。
My next British stop was McLaren, with the most exclusive McLaren there is, the Elva. The extreme expression of what a McLaren car can be. Fifth in the McLaren Ultimate Series, a line that encompasses McLaren's most advanced design, engineering, and performance. Like McLaren says, the Elva is a car that needs no destination, designed to deliver nothing but the purest possible driving experience. Light, powerful, split-second agility, with no roof, no windshield. This is a car that plays with your senses and builds a connection between the driver, the car, and the elements. A car directly in line with the experimental legacy of the founder of the brand himself, Bruce McLaren. Renowned driver and engineer, always looking to push aerodynamics further. The Elva is a beautiful tribute to that heritage. I wasn't initially sure I'd have the time for this
フラー
detour
レ
in
ン、ベル
McLaren,
バか。
but I was so glad I made
早い
the
です
trip.
ね。
Jaguar is a brand that it's hard to go around when it comes to gorgeous British cars. That's why it had to be part of this tour. The car that we've selected for you now, the Jaguar CX-75 concept.
とんでもねえとこにある。よいしょ。イギリスジャガー CX75 コンセプト。ほう。EX75。なんか顔立ちは XJR の面影あるね。
Jaguar CX75 concept. C stands for concept, X for experimental, and 75 as a tribute to Jaguar's 75th anniversary. A breathtaking hypercar that unfortunately couldn't be mass-produced. Yet this prototype alone is quite the celebrity in the luxury car world. An elegant and avant-garde design so popular when it came out that she received the Louis Vuitton Prize at the Paris Mondial de l'Automobile in 2010. Star of the 007 movie Spectre, along with her co-star, the Aston Martin DB10. Another British concept.
映画で共演したの。これ
Quite the life for a concept car, isn't it?
は栄誉なことだね。
Movie star, muse, prestigious prize winner. And this is only scratching the surface of what this car could have been.
Luxury Chronicles, new chapter. You know what to do. Drive to the tag and get back to your European journey with another pillar of British luxury, Bentley.
次はベントレーか。ベントレー、マリナー、バカラー、アウトランザクロック。あれね、イニディのタイムアタックとかの方式ね。わお、随分といかちい音するな、ベントレー。
Bentley. Could I really go on a tour of the greatest luxury car brands of Europe without stopping by this prestigious manufacturer's headquarters in Crewe? Impossible. So, there I was, at Bentley, face to face with splendid machines, and notably, the Bentley Mulliner Bacala. The Bacala is gorgeous and impressive from afar, but also incredibly well crafted from up close. I was dealing with the elite of British luxury and design refinement there. Extremely exclusive. Only 12 units have been made. Produced by Muller, the oldest coach builder in the world, and a serious token of quality. But, needless to say, such prestige comes with a significant price tag.
12台しか生産できなかった、いや、されなかったのか、私みたいな。こう考えると、とんでもなく貴重な車だな。痛い。
Just like this beautiful day with Bentley, my trip was slowly coming to an end.
なんとかなった。
My next stop will be the last of this Luxury Chronicles journey.
Here we are, the final event of this grand luxury tour.
最終ツアー。
The last brand we're going to talk about may be the most famous of them all. A brand which has clearly become over the years the embodiment of British luxury. The brand is Aston Martin, and the car is the 2024 Aston Martin Vantage. This is the last stop of this voyage around Europe. I hope you'll enjoy it just like our archivist did.
どこかや。アストンマーティン、バンテージ。4分以内にフィニッシュ。
Today was the ultimate day of my European luxury tour. And it wasn't just any day. It was a day with Aston Martin.
この車も8足まであるのか。
I had decided from the very beginning to save Aston Martin for last. For this brand is quite unique when it comes to famous British cars. Aston as a tribute to the Aston Hill race from the early 20th century, and Martin from Lionel Martin, co-founder of the brand. The name Aston Martin now resonates in a very special way everywhere around the world. It embodies the British modern luxury touch, so to speak. Cars that are fast, cars that are beautifully crafted, and on top of that, cars that now come with an unmissable pop culture connection that started with the appearance of the DB5 in the Goldfinger movie in 1964. As a result, Aston Martin cars nowadays have undoubtedly become some of the most desirable cars in the world. My definitive treat during this day was being able to see the new Aston Martin Vantage. Freshly released, this brilliant vehicle is yet further proof that British luxury is still very much relevant, with a bright future ahead of it. This is it, the end of my European luxury tour, with each stop more enlightening than the last. A fruitful journey for my archives and for you drivers of Motorfest.
It's time to reap your reward. Your vehicle is ready for you to claim. This was our Archibald's Grand European Tour, and this was your Luxury Chronicles experience. Your reward is waiting for you at the container in our luxury estate. And your prize this time is prize money. Because luxury is also the freedom to choose.
ラグジュアリーは選択の自由ですからね。ほぼストレートで見つけた今。ハイパーカーのパーツがもういっぱいになったか。 ってことはランク最大になってるはず。100万か。太っ腹だね。
Playlist cleared and ready for takeoff, driver.
チャレンジとカスタムモードアンロック。
New challenges unlocked.
めっちゃ多いな。クレジットが多い。こういろいろ多いな。次やるでもマウイであとスラロームしたらもう終わりか、これ。i8 ロードスター。次やるやつは、フェラーリ、か、このストリートライダー。どっちかかな。ここまででもう2時間かかってるから、結構ね、ボリュームやばいかも。イベント7つ、ストリートライダーも8つか。フェラーリやるか、じゃあ。F50。ストリートティア2なんだ、こいつ。フェラーリといえば、この赤色のボディでしょう。
A playlist is ready to try. Let's go try it.
で、一回、ハイパーカーの溢れ散らかしてるパーツを、はい、全部装着します。 920未満を軒並みスクラップにするみたいな項目があればいいんだけどね。1490馬力か。だいぶパワーがやばいな。車重よりも馬力の方が出てるからね。ああ、行くか。
Today is a red letter day. You're signing up for one of our most exclusive experiences to date. A partnership with the quintessential sports car manufacturer, Ferrari, the prancing horse. An alliance that will for sure go down in Motorfest history. To be your guide on this pilgrimage through excellence, we've invited our resident scholar and authority on luxury cars, the Motorfest archivist. Sir, you're up.
Thank you, dear. Hello, driver. Pleased to meet you. As your lovely on-board assistance device just mentioned, I'll be your chaperone for this playlist. Although chaperone perhaps isn't the right word. More like a host, I believe. Well, this is not my usual job, but it is Ferrari we're talking about, so, well, how could I refuse?
ブジュアリースポーツのやつで思ったよりイベント数多くて、あれだけで2時間かかったもんな。
Here you are. Look at this place. Let's drive to the main building. I believe the director of the Ferrari Museums has a few words to say.
My name is Michele Pignatti Morano. I am the director of the Ferrari Museums.
The museum.
Here we are, where there is the birthhouse of Enzo Ferrari. Each Ferrari is different. Each Ferrari was the best in the world in design, performance, technology, putting all the best in one single car. Ferrari is a legend. It's just exceptionally full of excellence.
Ferrari スーパーカーズ。いやー、素晴らしい。
This is Ferrari Supercars, a partnership with the Enzo Ferrari Museum of Modena. What is next in line?
There's a particular kind of Ferrari we're going to speak a lot about today. The Ferrari supercars. The car you're about to drive in this opening event is none other than the first Ferrari in the supercar bloodline, the Ferrari GTO.
グランツーリスモ、オモロゲート、フェラーリ GTO。GTO つったら結構古めのマシンやね。
The first supercars that we can define is the GTO. GTO was very simple. If we just start from the name, it was Gran Turismo Omologato.
だと。古いフェラーリやからトラコンとかあの辺がな、怖いな。
The definition of supercars is very simple. It's the top expression of that period in design, performance, technology, putting all the best in one single car of that period. People call it the 288 GTO, but that is not the correct definition. The definition for that car is the GTO. Punto.
Supercar is a term that refers to milestones in motoring history. All supercars are limited series and the product of Enzo Ferrari's philosophy, aiming to make every new model the best car of its time. That means that every new addition to the lineage is the embodiment of leading-edge research that sets the standard for cars worldwide. Drive all the Ferrari supercars on this adventure, but for now, just enjoy the collector's piece that is the Gran Turismo Omologato, or like Mr. Pignati Morano said, simply GTO.
GTO.
This car is, in essence, a special version of another iconic Ferrari, the 308 GTS. And, as intended, it is one of the fastest street-legal production cars of its time. Interesting fact from my archives. Three-time racing world champion Niki Lauda owned one of the few GTOs produced. A gift from Enzo Ferrari himself. Beautiful sight. It takes me back to the Legacy Tour Ferrari organized back in 2024. A GTO tribute tour set in the stunning surroundings of the Italian Dolomites. Organized exactly 40 years after Ferrari introduced the supercar at the 1984 Geneva Motor Show. But enough from me. Just listen to the car you're driving. She'll tell you her story herself. Welcome to the world of Ferrari, my young friend. A world where legends live among us to tell their stories loud and clear.
危なげなくいっていい。
I was delighted with that introduction. You may now head towards the northern part of the bay to make the acquaintance of the next two supercars in our Ferrari lineup. You heard me right. The next event will feature not one, but two cars for you to drive. On one hand, the inspired and inspiring Ferrari F40. And on the other hand, nothing less than a road-legal Formula One, the Ferrari F50.
F40 の名前が出てきたな。
You're here. Mr. Pignati Morano will start with a few words, then I'll take over.
複数マシン。複数マシン。なるほど。え？それは F40 でしょ。
The Ferrari F50, a bridge between road and racetrack.
The F50 is a car that is made to celebrate the 50 years of the company. It's a car which is basically very much taking the technology of Formula One to the road. It's basically a Formula One with covered wheels. You look at the shape, you look at the front, you can really see the shape of the musetto of a Formula One, and the emotion of driving it is just incredible.
Let me tell you more about the Ferrari F50. Often thought of together, the F40 and F50 are yet very different cars, each one fascinating in its own individual way. It's true they bear some similar design elements and, of course, a naming convention. F for Ferrari and 50 for the prancing horse's 50th birthday, just like the F40 a decade earlier. But the similarities stop right there, because these two siblings are defiantly individual. The F50 is a mechanical symphonia. No turbocharged V8 here. The F50's core is a normally aspirated V12 that came straight from a Formula One.
電気機 V12 エンジン。へえ。
Then there's the bodywork. Composite materials, like the monocoque carbon fiber chassis shaped to aerodynamic perfection. Again, all coming from the racing world. An extreme machine. Bold, innovative, intimidating. And that sound. It was impressive back then. And it still is today. And the car's voice sounds even better from inside. I could ramble on about this car forever, but I'll let it speak for itself now. This was the F50, a sports car that screams performance and racing spirit with every fiber of its being. I believe that you're now expected at the Hanauma racetrack. But first, let's get there with panache. Another special car is waiting for you. You've tried two of the 20th century's most popular Ferraris. But when it comes to beloved machines from the 80s and 90s, there's another red horse that undoubtedly comes to mind. The unmistakable pop culture icon, the Ferrari Testarossa.
時代を超えた赤 512TR。ER なんだ？
When you ask people which is one of the most iconic cars that people remember, I think the Testarossa is definitely among these cars here. The technology that is inside, easily distinguishable from the side which has the fins. It is one of those cars that everybody remembers. Testarossa is very simple. Translated from Italian is testa, head, rossa, red. So the red head.
テスタロッサ。なんて書いてあるかわかんねえけど、多分、創始者のエンゾの教えみたいなのが書いてある。7000回転ぐらいまで分もあるんか。
was quite the celebrity in her time. Movies, TV shows, magazines, and even video games, the Testarossa was everywhere, appealing to kids and adults alike. With its angular design, minimalistic lines, and signature side air intakes, this car was a poster child for aerodynamics. To be precise, the exact model Motorfest has put in your hands is the 1991 re-engineered version of the Testarossa, introduced as the 512TR, featuring a redesigned interior and a refined exterior to improve its already spectacular lines. It looks like you're getting the perfect stretches of road between Maui and Oahu to take the whole measure of it. This was quite a breath of fresh air and nostalgia. It's time for you to get a real taste of Ferrari's racing DNA. The drive that gave birth to the supercar bloodline. And for this racing-themed experience, I went again through my archives to select not just one, but two vehicles for you to drive, one after the other. Two machines from two different eras, for two different racing experiences.
複数マシン、レーシング ATLA、2位以内でフィニッシュ。フェラーリ 365GTB。
Scuderia Ferrari in our history is extremely important. Scuderia Ferrari was created in 1929, not far away from here. And so Ferrari himself was a driver. He started as a driver. So he created, and to stimulate the drivers, he was giving them and putting them in the best condition with the best car possible. Scuderia Ferrari was so successful. Enzo Ferrari has conquered the world from Maranello. This is an achievement which is unique and really makes the brand unique.
The Scuderia is what started it all. To understand what fuels the creation of every Ferrari ever made, especially the supercars, the racetrack is an indispensable stop. Racing cars were Enzo Ferrari's passion and obsession. This is what led him to found the Scuderia in 1929, which has played a major role in racing history. And born from this racing division, Ferrari as a brand and factory of excellence was created a few years later. Racing is what led Ferrari to create cars, and eventually supercars. Without his racing spirit and passion, there would be no Ferraris as we know them.
タコメーターに表示されてるレッドゾーンとさ、実際のレッドゾーンが若干ずれててさ、すげえ運転しにくい。
The perfect vehicle for you to experience Ferrari racing as it felt back in the 70s. Before switching for a car about 45 years its junior.
1000回転ぐらいでレベルから回転数にすごい気をつけなきゃいけない。で、フェラーリに FXXK か。
This car is quite peculiar. Essentially a laboratory-enhanced version of La Ferrari, a supercar you'll get to meet later on. It didn't compete per se, but this insanely powerful car was used for years as an R&D test car, allowing Ferrari to collect precious data to ultimately improve their next official racing cars, as well as the supercars. A Ferrari so extreme that it can never be driven on the road, nor qualify for any kind of official competition. But it's still a racing machine through and through. More than a car, The FXXK is an experiment for its makers and an experience for its drivers. This was a peek at Ferrari's glorious racetrack heritage. A heritage in which supercars are inextricably tied up.
This このピコピコは多分ね、崖上なんだよね。ほら。多いね。ちょっとファストトラベル使おうか。近場まで。
Marvelous race driver. A moment I'll be thrilled to relate and store in my archives. Now, let's get our focus back to our supercar lineup. With the GTO, the F40, and the F50, we've covered all the Ferrari supercars born in the 20th century. We'll now get to talk about and drive the more recent 21st century supercars. Well, I'll talk, you'll drive. Let's get back to Maui. The next entry in our lineup and first supercar of the 2000s is a direct tribute to the Commendatore Enzo Ferrari. You guessed it. We're letting you get your hands on the 2002 Ferrari Enzo. And again, starting with a few words from our guest, Michele Pignati Marano.
なるほど、次はエンゾ・フェラーリ。2位以内でフィニッシュ。
What was the next name? The name was Enzo. Enzo Ferrari, I mean, it's the top of the names. You couldn't do anything better than that. If we look at it today, and you think it was presented in 2002, it is still a car which is modern, and it has more than 20 years, but it's still unique. It's still, everybody wants this car. There is no main evolution. It is all evolution. It's technological, it's design, it's the horsepowers we put in, everything, and that's what makes H Ferrari super.
Enzo. Fourth in the supercar bloodline, was just like her sisters before her, born from a strong desire to push supercars even further. As the first Ferrari of the century, and with a Scuderia on top of the racing world, the Enzo was meant to strike hard and set new standards for Ferrari cars, or rather, for the whole sports car industry. With the will to design, once more, nothing less than a road-legal Formula One, faster on the track but more civilized on the road, Ferrari went all out. And my word, did they deliver. The uncompromising design by Pininfarina, featuring noticeable air intakes and an F1-inspired nose, gives this car her aggressive, decisive, and impressive looks, while the engine is nothing short of engineering mastery, as you'd expect. Add to that better handling, better carbon brakes, and electronics that make the car as reliable on an everyday drive as it is savage on the racetrack. The latest 21st century tech, alongside the legendary Ferrari Fury. Nothing short of a new performance benchmark. Her name alone shows how confident Ferrari was about this car. Owning one of the 399 plus one Ferrari Enzos in existence is like owning a piece of car history. Or, dare I say, like owning a piece of art. Racing heritage, luxury, and exclusivity. This is Enzo Ferrari's legacy.
そう、フェラーリレガシー。距離あるな。ショートカット。
After the beautiful tribute that was the Ferrari Enzo, the world had to wait more than 10 years to encounter a new Ferrari supercar. But eventually, the next generation arrived, and once again, caught everybody off guard. I'm talking about a car named La Ferrari, the Ferrari in English, which is currently waiting for you north of Maui.
次ラフェラーリか。
I'll let you drive there. Then we'll talk some more.
La Ferrari is the first Ferrari we have with an hybrid engine.
ああ、フェラーリが初めてハイブリッドエンジン採用したモデルなんだ。
If you come to our museum and you have the possibility of comparing and seeing the La Ferrari engine next to La Ferrari car, you won't believe that that engine is in that car. In that period, we were taking a lot of technology also from Formula One. And that's what the Ferrari is. La Ferrari is the first car, the first hybrid car, because we were taking the Formula One experience and transforming it and taking it to the road.
It's 2013, and a new supercar emerges from the Maranello factory. In an era of astonishingly intense competition, Ferrari still treated their rivals to a true tour de force, a car that reshuffled the cards yet again. The strongest naturally aspirated Ferrari V12 to date, marking Ferrari's first steps into hybrid technology. For the first time in the company's history, petrol and electric working together full-time to deliver unprecedented levels of performance. And on top of all that, LaFerrari sports an F1 kinetic energy recovery system that constantly recaptures waste energy, stores it, and converts it into bursts of power when needed.
大混雑大混雑。
With LaFerrari, some lucky people got to witness technology peak improvements at both ends of the spectrum. Higher performance, lower consumption. Glorious achievement.
270キロも出るのがすげえな。これぐらい速度出るってことは相手も360キロぐらいの領域で来てるから、ワンミスで停止でもしようもんなら追いつかれるんだよ。
Also the fastest and most exhilarating road car ever made by the prancing horse, LaFerrari.
LaFerrari.
This was La Ferrari, the fifth and ultimate Ferrari supercar. Or is she? See, not so long ago, we would have called it a day on this playlist, right about here. After all, La Ferrari was the last supercar ever made, the final word in Ferrari supercars. But that's not true anymore. In 2024, Ferrari shook the automotive world once again by revealing the sixth supercar to bear the prancing horse. The news of Ferrari unveiling a new supercar was already more than enough to get any car enthusiast in the world on their feet. But the reveal of her name is what made everyone lose their mind. The Ferrari F80. An exciting time to be alive, isn't it? You should head back to the Ferrari Museum. Believe me when I tell you that something brilliant is about to be set in motion.
Yoいしょ。
What makes Ferrari so unique? It is mainly the people. The people make the difference. And as Enzo Ferrari used to say, factories are made of wall, machinery, and people. Ferrari is made of people mainly. The people and the sense of belonging to Ferrari is something I think that is difficult to find in other companies, in other places. Our brand is the only brand that has such a strong passion. Thanks to the passion that is in the brand, the technology, the effort that the people put behind this brand and behind building a new car, the next one is the best.
Yeah. 音がやれ。
Ferrari is a legendary sports car brand, born from the
これで
passion
曲が
of
ん
a
のや
man,
ば。
a passion for driving and racing, a passion for speed and competition, with the will to build cars, each one better than the last. Throughout the decades, this racing DNA never faded away. It informs every single decision made by the prancing horse. It fuels the relentless drive to explore car technology, to push it beyond and make it evolve, to design the most incredible cars in the world. Jewels of the road. Champions of the racetrack. Ferrari. It is cars that have become pop culture icons. Cars that share a special bond with millions of people. Whether you own a Ferrari or not, the name Ferrari rings like no other. It impacts and fascinates children and grown-ups alike. It is part of a collective consciousness. Ferrari cars are a vector for dreams. They're modern legends, both real and mythical in a way.
急な演出を入れられてちょっとびっくりしちゃった。
They're an idea of what a sports car is, in both fiction and reality. Ferrari is, and this is putting it mildly, the epitome of luxury cars. With design that combines rage and glamour, each Ferrari is a piece of art. And from the higher end of the splendor spectrum, each drive is a statement. Essence of the racing spirit, pop culture phenomenon, state-of-the-art ambassador. The combination of all these attributes made Ferrari a car brand that reached millions of people and brought them together. People that have, over the decades, formed a community like no other. Devout, passionate, dedicated. Because once again, no need to own a Ferrari to be part of the Ferrari world. Through almost 80 years, Ferrari has shaped car history. And as I speak, it is shaping its future. A new chapter of the Ferrari supercar story is being written. Its title? F80.
F80。いや、いいですね、F80。
it's a challenge to keep the legacy of the Ferrari brand alive. Thanks to the passion that is in the brand, the technology, the effort that the people put behind this brand and behind building a new car, the next one is the best. I hope you enjoyed driving our cars. They are unique, but why not come to our museum and see the real thing? Come and live the dream and come to the Ferrari museums. Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
This was our exclusive Ferrari experience. Now, time to get your reward.
GT。GTO か。これが来るか。いいね。
Complete this playlist.
プレイリストをクリア。チャレンジとカスタムモードのアンロック。
New challenges unlocked.
フェラーリのマシンを3台所有する。ああ、そっか。
New playlist ahead. Let's go.
すげえ、FAT。1台ずつ見ていくっていうチャレンジがあるっぽいね。これがラフェラーリだよね。エンツォ・フェラーリからのこれがラフェラーリ。フェラーリっつったら、ねえ、キング・オブ・スーパーカーみたいなところありますけど。フェラーリ GTO。 F50。かな F40 はあったはずだ。V8。だって時間が結構いいぐらいだね。もう一個ぐらい本当だったらプレイリストやりたいけど、全部多いんだよね、結構。レッドブルのやつに関しては、裏でやってもいいかもしんないな。飛行機とかバイクあるから絶対。まあ、今日はこれで終わってもいいか。じゃあ一旦今日はこれで終わりとさせていただきます。お疲れ様でした。またね。もしかしたら、またなんかゲリラで昼枠とかやるかもしれないので、よろしくお願いします。んでは、お疲れ様でした。